Phil, we're live.
Yep.
Yeah.
You probably all noticed it's not Renault in this chair. It's a shorter, bigger-headed person. So.
So you're not Renault?
No. Not Renault. So yeah. Renault's a bit under the weather, so I'm taking his place.
Yeah, Renault is sick today, so Phil is taking the place. It's not your first time though.
No, I've done a few live streams before, and hopefully I'll give just as much incorrect information this time.
As Renault or as you in the past?
No comment on that one.
Anyway, I'm very happy to be here. It's been 2 months since the last time, because we had to cancel the last product meetup, or do we call it the Prismic Meetup now, right? Well, we didn't change the logo, but I guess we're making it like a rebranding of the name, right?
Prism up. No.
Prismic. Thank you. No, you're giving an impression of what's going to happen through this meetup. Through this, anyway, we had to cancel the last one. It was vacation time and people were off. Some people were off, so we didn't do it then. So I'm very back to be happy today. I'm very happy to be back today. I lost the habit, 2 months time. And I'm very happy also to see a lot of people in here. Thank you for coming. This is a place, so we were thinking about, okay, what is the Prismic Meetup, right? We thought about it, like, what is it? We talk about the product, but we also talk a little bit about the users. Last time we invited one of our users, and it told a great story about how they use Slice Machine and stuff. So I think that also not only we talk about the product, but we talk about the community and what they're doing. We talk about the best website that they've done, and I guess it's more than the product. It's the product and the community, and I guess that's why it makes sense to call it the Prismic Meetup. It's a bigger sense of what we're trying to achieve here.
Yeah, it's all linked together.
They are linked together. So first, I would like to maybe already people started talking about where they come from. I love this part because something that we are proud of at Prismic. We can say it, right? That we are global and we are multicultural. The company is. We have employees from all around the world. We speak English in the offices, even if we are in Paris. But we have people in the United States. We have people in Estonia. We have people from Colombia, Mexico, and a lot of other countries. And also, the people that come here into this meetup are pretty international. I see a lot of cities, a lot of countries. So, warm up on the chat. You can start telling us about where you come from. Okay, what's the weather there?
You can even see some of our team and the users are in the same place. We've got Sam up in Glasgow.
Yeah, it's in Glasgow, yeah. And there is Sam, both Sams are in Glasgow. No, which Sam is in Glasgow? Our Sam?
Yeah, our Sam Littlefair, and then...
I thought Samuel, where is Samuel from?
I think Jedediah there, he's in Glasgow as well.
It's Jedediah, yeah, I mixed up, yes. And by the way, Jedediah, he helps us a lot with some work with our clients when we need to bring up some demos and some prototypes of things that we show to our clients, and we often ask him for some freelance work. So thank you, Jedediah, for all the work that you do for us. You're part of us today,
Yeah, we always get great feedback from Jedediah and all our features and stuff. We really enjoy working with him.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, tell us about where you come from and what's the weather there, and also, if you use the voucher, what did you order? What kind of food you ordered? That's also, a lot of culture there.
Yeah, help make us hungry.
6 o'clock. I didn't eat yet. But anyway, so that's really cool. So I see Colombia, Brazil. Oh yeah, we hired our talent acquisition manager. Okay, what's the talent acquisition manager? It's the person that helps us hire from all around the world. Samantha, she joined us a month ago, and she's Brazilian, right? Where? São Paulo, I would say.
Yeah, that's correct.
São Paulo, yeah.
And she's based in Nice, in France.
Based in Nice, yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's cool with a lot of new people starting in the office, a lot of cool talent coming in, helping us improve the product. It's exciting times.
Exciting times, tiring times as well, right? We have, 15 people that we hired in 3 months' time.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy about that. We already onboarded them, and it's really going well. And we see how they're bringing different experiences, and a lot of new stuff. So this is really cool in different places as well. So I see Canada. What do I see? I see the Netherlands. That's cool.
Yeah.
New Mexico. Nice.
We got Reno joining us in the chat.
Did you see him?
Yeah, from
Okay.
6 feet under, he says he is at the minute. He's obviously not feeling great.
Or Andre says, I ordered Thai food. Thai food is good.
Yeah, Christoph got some fish and chips. I'm massively jealous. I missed that a lot.
Yeah, from Toronto? Yes. Can't find my voucher, but it would be pizza, or would have been pizza. That's Mark. And New Haven. Who's it's Alex, of course. New Haven. I thought I saw New Haven. I was like, I know that, but it's because it's Alex, right? Core ordered Subway.
Nice.
Okay, this is good. So maybe we should start, right? So we talked about it. There are different things we are going to go through in this meetup. But the first thing, I wanted to give you an update about the company, and I tell you, like, we're really hiring for different places. We're building different developer teams for different product size, and also we're hiring for the different other departments. It's really going well. Well, you know, the effect of hiring all these kind of people is going to take time, right? Because people need to get in here, understand. We need to give them the time, right? Because they're, joining a new company. We need to build a structure. A lot of things to be built. But I'm feeling really good about it. So I'm very happy about it. So I see that Fred got Turkish food and some dumplings for Gutter back. Got your back. Whatever, man. I can't read stuff. Can you read it in front of me? I always read it wrong.
I would have read it as Gutter back. Got your back.
Okay. Lasagna. That's a great choice. Lasagna on its way, Jadidya. Want to go for the
next slide?
Yeah,
so
what we have.
Yes. Okay. So we've a few topics to talk about today. The first, we've got an interview. We're going to talk about how the team over at Saatva have worked on boosting acquisition through SEO, and how they moved away and came to our platform to work with all the different things that will improve it. I'm not going to give away too much because it's going to maybe spoil the interview a bit, and that's what we're going to get into first.
You're a spoiler.
Yeah, that's it all the time. Always give it up.
But I love that, what she's bringing. And last time we tried to do things, and I think it's very informative because it's a concrete case. Because when we talk about, all these kind of things, I guess when you get someone that went through the work, and Christina has a lot of expertise on SEO and how did they do stuff, and I learned a lot by looking at the slides, because we had a look a little bit before. I think it's going to be rich, and I'm happy to have her around. And then you're saying,
the next one, we've got 2 or 3 product updates for you. So just a few features and improvements that we've been working on. We're just going to quickly run through those, give you all the updates so you know how exactly that affects you. And an extension of that is a more detailed one about some of the open source work that our DevX team has been working on. Again, how that affects the developers working with the different tools that we have there, and how we're constantly working towards improving that process for everybody involved. Then the last thing that we're going to present will be the website of the month, a use case of someone who's really working with Prismic in a way that we love, we think is really imaginative and is really challenging what it is to use the product and create websites. And then finally, we're going to open up the floor to questions, Q&A. So anything that you might have about anything we discussed, anything regarding the product that you want to talk about, and get an answer direct from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that you have to keep your questions until the end of the session.
No, not at all.
You can fire questions all the time, and I will try to answer as many as I can on the fly while they're hot. But then, if we still have many questions, then we can go into the questions time, and then we answer what we can do then. Okay. Each time we promise it's like 1 hour, and then we go beyond.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably this time is going to happen again. I have my badminton practice starting at 8, so I really have to leave at 7:30.
Okay.
I will leave you alone, and you will continue. Okay. I saw Samuel saying that still no Uber Eats in Kalmar, Sweden. At least the app is in the Swedish market. So I'm sorry for that, Samuel. But at some point we have to announce some good news together, right? I will not spoil that, but there's something that we're going to announce. And there's no Ubers, the same Uber situation in Vaxjo.
Where does Sadek shop? I'm guessing that is where does Sadek get his jacket? We were just talking about that.
Secret. This is a secret. Honestly, I would like to order the same again, but I'm not finding it anymore. So I will have to give it to someone and tell them, like, can you make an exact copy of it?
Yeah. And if I'd known, I would have bought a bunch of those and just like slowly
sell them
to you.
That's business. Okay. Should we start with Christina?
Yeah, let's get into it. So, are you with us, Christina?
They're connecting her.
Okay.
Can we get a thumbs up for if you see it? You hear the three of us.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Modern technology
Cool.
at its finest.
Okay, we're good. Sorry for that. There's some delay because of that. But let's get started. So, Christina, you had something you had to solve, right? You wanted to have a full strategy on SEO, and then you had a problem. Can you tell us first about I jumped too much into it because I was in the audio thing. Can you present a little bit yourself, the posters behind you, what you do, which company, all these kind of things, and then get to then we understand about the challenge that you had.
Yes, of course. So my name is Christina Heiser. I'm the Senior Content Manager at Saatva, a luxury mattress and bedding company. We're based in New York City. I've been at the company since 2018, and I manage our blog. So I do everything from content strategy to writing to editing and assigning content. I'm a big Formula One fan, hence the posters in the background, based in New York City. And I've been at the company since the beginning of our blog, which launched in 2018. And we previously used to be on WordPress. And we found that our blog was very, very slow. The page time to load.
Wait, you're going quickly. Like here,
Oh,
no. You're trying to save time, right? You're trying to save time.
Answer.
Maybe at some point we'll have problems again, right?
Yeah.
No, but this is cool. First, there's a lot of interesting things. First, where did your enthusiasm about Formula One come from? Are any people in the here at YouTube in the chat that have the same passion, share the same passion with Christina? Where did it come from? Your dad, your family?
So my boyfriend, he's into it, and we watched the Netflix show Drive to Survive, and so in 2019 we took a trip to France, and we got tickets to the Monaco Grand Prix as part of that trip, which was our first live Formula One experience. And so we've been fans, and we went to the US Grand Prix, which is in Texas as well. And
wow.
We're hoping next year to be able to travel again. We were supposed to go to the Italian Grand Prix in 2020, but of course that didn't happen. So
you already went to quite a few. That's really good.
Yeah. We watch them every week on TV. We get up early here in New York to watch them.
Nice. I see a few fans of Formula One as well.
Yeah, A.R. Murray says he's seen Days of Thunder. I'm not sure you know what that is.
I don't know. I don't know what that is. You'll explain to me afterwards.
It's a great movie. It's an excellent movie.
Why you think that I don't know it? I need to understand that part.
You don't know bands from 2006. I don't know if you're gonna know a 1980s racing movie.
Anyway. So let's focus here. I need to focus. So then you talked about working for Saatva,
Yes.
which is, you said, a bed company. Like you sell what?
Mattresses, sheets, pillows,
sheets.
Anything related, weighted blankets. We're going to be going into selling sleep masks and candles, anything related to sleep and bedding.
Right. And then you well, into that, you were saying like you publish a lot about this topic, right?
Yes, so we've actually published over 600 articles since the time that I've started in 2018. Depending on the week, we might publish anywhere from 2 to 5 articles per week. So we
Wow.
have a pretty robust library of content on our blog.
And is it why you do this? For marketing, for revenue? Does it drive revenue? What is it?
Yes, it does. So we have a couple of different reasons why we publish content. The main being that we really want to be seen as the most helpful mattress brand on the internet and be able to answer any question that a potential customer might have while mattress shopping, or even questions about getting a better night's sleep in general. So first and foremost, we really just want to provide that educational material to people. And then, of course, if they are shopping for a mattress, we hope that they will consider buying from Saatva. And so we offer information to help people select the best mattress out of our product catalog for them. And yeah.
Yeah, that's the first lesson that I learned when we started talking. You told like, yeah, we are a mattress company, but you know that we publish about sleep in general and how this and that will affect sleep. That you, as an SEO strategy, you don't only publish about mattresses, but you publish about the topic of sleep and on all that. But maybe we'll get more onto that with details. But this is the first thing that I learned.
Yes, so we've done everything. We've written articles about how cannabis can affect your sleep, how alcohol can affect your sleep. We've done really fun articles on what your cat's sleeping position says about their personality, how to keep your pets from ruining your sleep because people go crazy for the animal content. So it's
Nice.
a wide range of topics.
These cat positions, did it get popular or not?
That article actually is one of our top performing posts by sessions. So
Surprising.
of course, we don't sell a pet bed at the moment, so it's not really driving to any of our products. But I have to say it every month when I do my reporting, it shows up in the top 10. So it gets anywhere from 500 to 1,000 sessions per month since it was published last April.
Right. So you're again, your role is senior content manager, is it right?
Yes.
So you do the strategy, but you also have a team, and we're going to talk about that more. So you came in the company how? Like, how long ago you're working in at
So
Saatva?
I started at Saatva in July 2018, and at the time it was just myself and one other person on our content team. So there were just two of us handling everything as we started getting the ball rolling and publishing more content. And
Right, and yeah, I have. I mean, we always have a lot of comments in here, and someone saying green makes me sleep well. For
yes.
further, what was your study? What was the conclusion of your study about how cannabis is helping?
So it depends on the strain and the type of cannabis. CBD, definitely strains that are higher in CBD tend to be a little bit more relaxing. So we always caution people, do your research and always speak with a professional before adding something new to your routine. But we definitely saw some studies on CBD in particular helping with pain and anxiety and different things that might make it harder to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, I read something random and that it might interrupt your or make you have less REM cycle
Yeah.
sleep, but I don't know how sure is that, but I heard something about it.
I know alcohol definitely does that. So
Yeah.
alcohol can ruin your REM sleep and
Yes.
cause
a
you all
really-
sorts of issues.
It's a really interesting topic. I read about it a lot.
Yes.
Have you read the book Why We Sleep?
No, that's actually on my list, and
It's really eye-opening. It's in fact it's scary at times that you're like, oh my god, I really need to sleep better.
I know I almost don't want to know what I'm doing wrong.
Anyways, so you joined 3 years ago, right?
Yes.
Right. And what was the problem? You joined there. What was your mission already? You came there. What was the
Yeah,
mission?
so when I started, the blog was in its very early stages. I think maybe it had launched 6 months before I joined the company, and our goal was really to build up a library of content that could answer every question someone might have about mattresses so that they could make a better shopping decision. And once we created all of that content, then we started moving a little bit further out into the sleep health space. And like I had kind of mentioned a little bit previously, our blog was launched on WordPress, and it was a very basic backend, but that's what we were using for about 2.5 years without really making any updates to the backend, just the same WordPress instance with a lot of plugins and different things that were going on back there.
And I have a lot of respect actually for how WordPress helps people get started. There is a lot to learn, I guess, from WordPress on how they get, they got this huge community out there, and also how a lot of companies we hear they get started with WordPress, but then they hit some kind of limitation. I don't know how much of it is related to WordPress itself or some of the setting on the plugins, but anyway, you were in that kind of situation, and then what did you do?
Yeah, so we had a really great person start on our team who was the head of growth marketing, and one of his goals was helping us to improve the user experience on the blog, and in turn help us grow our traffic and our revenue. And so he was instrumental in helping us come up with a solution. And the solution that he came up with was, we need to switch to a different content management system to be able to improve the page speed on our site, not be so weighed down by all of the different plugins that were interfering with each other, and just have an easier experience for myself on the content team to be able to build articles and not have so many issues where I had to go in and uninstall one plugin so that I could, do another one and then reinstall it. So he just wanted to make it easier for us to produce content. And so that's how we found Prismic and decided to move on to Prismic just April of this year.
Right. So two things you're saying. One, you wanted speed, and you wanted to achieve speed, and that engineer, developer, what was the role of that person? What is the
So
role
they
of
were
that person?
overseeing a team of
A team.
engineers.
Okay, a team of
Yes.
engineers.
So he
right.
was kind of the product manager.
The product manager.
Yes.
And first thing you wanted to improve is the speed, and the second thing is the content creation experience that you have to handle. You wanted a simpler thing so that you can create pages on your own, right, without too much complexity. So you moved to Prismic on April, right?
Yes.
April when? This year? Last year? When?
Mid-April, April 2021.
2021.
So April
Okay.
14th, 2021 was around the date that we officially were able to start using the back end there.
Okay, cool. How long did the implementation go? Do you know? Do you remember?
It was about a month long. So we had about a month where
quick. Yeah.
we weren't publishing content anymore. So we did a content freeze. So the engineering team worked on migrating all of the content, QAing it, making sure everything looked okay, and then publishing it on Prismic.
Nice. Okay, that was pretty quick actually.
It was, yeah, they worked really hard on that to get that for us quickly.
Okay, so that's cool. So you went and then what? I don't know. I know you have a lot of details in the story. It's extremely rich. When we started talking, a few days ago, I was like, this is really cool. So other details. So you went into that and you did this implementation to get the blog ready for publishing a lot of articles. How many articles you said?
Over 600. So around 650 articles we had.
That's a lot. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the process is that you got this in place and you started publishing, right?
Yes.
So how do you go about publishing articles?
So now when we create new content, it's really a pretty robust process. I don't know if you want me to start talking a little bit about how I actually come up with ideas, and then
yes, let's go through the process. Yeah, this is cool. Yes.
Yeah, so I'll give an example of one article that we created recently about crib mattresses. So we recently started selling crib mattresses at Saatva, and we did not have any content on our blog relating to babies and sleep. And so we decided, okay, here's a new category for us. This is a great market to expand into. We can target new parents, expecting parents who might be looking for this kind of product. And we wanted to do an article on crib mattress sizes and what do you need to know about a crib mattress before you buy one. And we already had a mattress size guide where we had articles on every single mattress size out there, like twin mattresses, queen mattresses, king, etc. So this would be a great fit in that mattress size guide. So my first step anytime I'm creating a new article is using some various SEO tools that I have access to to figure out what keywords I want to target in a piece. And so for this piece, I used SEMrush, which is my favorite SEO tool. It's very easy to use. And I just typed in crib mattress. I saw what keywords were coming up, what volume of search, how many people are searching for this article every month, what's the competition, is it high or is it low? And from there, I was able to use my best judgment and pick the primary keywords that I wanted to target in this article, which were crib mattress size and crib mattress dimensions. And so I chose those keywords because our other mattress size content was targeting twin mattress dimensions and full mattress dimensions. So it just made sense thematically to do that for crib mattresses.
Right.
And then,
Yeah, all right. No, I'm just go on, continue.
Yeah, so from there, I like to outline the article. I work with about 20 freelance writers. And so what I like to do when I'm working with these freelance writers is provide them with as much information as possible, so it's as easy as possible for them to write the piece. So
I will go that step
Yeah.
in the. I like this step of the process. I'm going to go a little bit quickly backwards, okay? Because there are questions in here.
Yes.
So the solution that was built for the blog that was built. Do you know what tools it was built on, or maybe you don't?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't actually know, but I can definitely get that answer from our
Okay, we'll do
engineering
that.
team.
We'll do that, and because
Yes.
people want to basically know probably Next or
Next.js, does that
Next.js.
sound
You know it.
familiar?
You know
Because
it.
we're doing
Yes.
a lot of work to clean that up. So I do know from our from our
Cool. So you know
engineers
it's
that
Next.js. So we got
yes,
the answer
yes,
here.
yes.
Okay, this is cool. So just I'm seeing. Did you have to do any migration?
Yeah, so our engineering team actually did all of it for us. They were
Right.
able to, I think, bulk import all of the content from the
Okay.
WordPress backend into Prismic. So they
Right.
handled that for us.
Cool. That's great. So, and you say that you work with a team of freelancers.
Yes.
And you mentioned to me that you kind of connect with these freelancers through some kind of tool. Can you tell us a little bit about this? First, like maybe why do you work with freelancers and not people in-house? And then about the platform that you use for working with the freelancer writers, basically. Content
Yes.
writers, right? Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So, as I had mentioned, there was only two people on our content team when I first started at the company, myself and my manager. And so, having to handle everything from the content strategy to the keyword research, it was a lot. So, we couldn't feasibly do all of this on our own, and we needed to bring on some contractors to help us with the writing, especially because we were producing such a high volume of content for our blog. So just feasibly for time management purposes, we decided to do that. And now we actually have a third person on our team, an assistant who's amazing, and she actually handles some of the writing for us now, which is really exciting. But that's why we decided to work with freelancers. And my background is in journalism, and so I had a lot of connections with different writers that I've worked with over the years. So I was lucky enough to have a roster of writers that I could tap when I started at Saatva.
Nice. So, and then you work with freelancers and how? So that basically you analyze, you go to your SEO tools, you extract the keywords, and then now you have to produce the content. How do you provide freelancers with what they need to understand to write the articles?
Yes. So I outline the content for them. Like you mentioned, I use another SEO tool called Phrase to look at what competitors are ranking for these pieces. I look at what sections they have in their articles, what headers they use, what FAQs they have in their articles. And so then I look at, okay, this article is ranking for this keyword. They have this section in their article. We should include a section in our article. So I do that first. I
What's that
compile
tool called
all
again? It's Phrase?
Phrase. It's spelled Frase.
Okay.
So phrase.io. So it's super helpful. We have an account that we pay for there that the whole content team can access. And so when I have my outline ready, I like you mentioned, I have another tool that I use to communicate with my freelance writers. It's called Clear Voice. And so that's how I
Clear voice,
actually
yes.
manage my assignments. And what I like about Clearvoice is you can actually fund the platform. So every year, we work on our content budget for the next year. And every quarter, we're able to put that money into the platform so that when we make writing assignments and a freelancer submits their article, sorry, I lost my headphones for a second.
No,
when
never
our
mind.
free when our freelancer submits the article, I can just approve it and they get paid right away. So it takes a lot of the pain away
Yeah,
from
I
having to pay
imagine.
people.
Especially that you're working with a lot of freelancers. You need
Yes.
all of these kind of streamlined. So you ask, you work, and then things get paid kind of automatically, right?
Yes, exactly. So it makes it a lot easier, and I'm able to put my outline in the platform for them so they can see it. And there's also a messaging tool. So if they have questions, they can tag my name. I'll get an email alert about it. If I have a question about something they've written, I can tag them and I can say, hey, what do you mean by this? And we can go back and forth like that in clear voice.
Right. Okay. So basically, you basically give them some kind of brief of what they want to write, and then they do it. And then what's the next step?
So the next step would be I edit the content when it comes in. I make sure that they actually are sticking to the outline that they gave them. They're using the keywords that I've provided with them. I always tell the writers, don't force a keyword or a phrase into a piece if it doesn't make sense. It should be natural. So I never tell a writer you need to use a keyword 10 times in an article. It's really use your best judgment, use
Mm-hmm.
related keywords just as it makes sense. It should be very natural. But I'm looking just to make sure that they are working those phrases and those keywords into the piece. And then another thing that I'll do is I'll actually annotate the article in Clear Voice before I build it in Prismic. And I make notes for myself. So I say, okay, here's where I want to add a table of contents. Here's where I'm going to add an HTML table, and that's going to have, all the dimensions of a crib mattress, the dimensions of a twin mattress. We'll put it in table format. Here's where I'm going to add an illustration that our creative team is going to make for this article. So that way, no matter who's building the article in Prismic, they know exactly where things are supposed to be on the page, and it makes it very easy to build the article in Prismic.
Right. So let me go to the process again. You go and you ask freelancers, you brief them on something you want to have. They will go next step. They will go and provide you, like they will write up the piece, and then you will go and annotate it. Well, you go back and forth with them to improve stuff, and then when it's gone, it's text, right? And now
Yes.
you try to enrich it with images, with table of content, of different things. But you don't go and do it yourself. You'd rather put suggestions as annotations, and then you get the rest of the content team collaborate on making that happen, right?
Exactly.
Mm.
So, like I mentioned, my assistant, so a lot of times she'll be the person who will build the content for me. So that makes it easy for her to say, okay, I'm going to put, rich text here. Then I'm going to put the block with the table of contents. We also have a creative team who sits under our marketing team. And so, based on whatever the topic of the article is, I might ask them to create a special illustration or an image for me. So I'm putting that request in, and I'm giving them a deadline to make sure that it's done by the time that I want to publish the article. So there's a lot of different moving pieces and different people who end up touching each piece of content during the process.
We're having a little problem with your image, but we're going
Having
to.
a
But it's fine. I guess we'll figure out anyway. They will.
Okay.
No, you're back. You're back. You're back. I see you
Okay.
back.
Good.
Anyway, here we're showing like the process. So, and how was it like? Okay, so you went with all this process. You started using Prismic, right?
Yes.
How did it feel like? And the other day, I asked you to rate your experience with Prismic from 1 to 10. And you told me between 9 and 10, and maybe you were nice to me. Now you have a lot of people, and these people, if you tell them something, they will trust you. So you please give them the right number, right? Don't tell them 9 on 10. I'm not going to listen. Okay? You just tell
No,
them the right.
I'm very honest. I definitely really like Prismic. I definitely rate it highly up there as a 9 or a 10 in terms of how easy it is to use. And I had mentioned to you too, my assistant is someone who had no experience using a CMS before, and she was very nervous. She was like, oh my God, I don't have, technical experience. I don't know how to code things. I'm like, no, you don't need to know that. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. And she was like, oh, this is actually very easy to use. And she
Nice.
was able to pick it up super quickly without having that background in using any CMSs before.
I love that.
We've got a question here about also how does your team use the preview feature that's available in Prismic?
Oh yes, that's one of our favorite features. And we have a staging environment. So when I'm done building the article in Prismic, or my assistant is done building an article for me, we always preview it and we proofread the article, first of all, to make sure there's no typos or grammatical errors. I like a website called Grammarly. They have a free version. You can actually copy and paste your text in there and it'll pick up if there's any spelling errors or things like that. So I always proofread it in preview. I always check the links to make sure that any internal or external links are actually working and going to the right place. I make sure that all of the slices that we've added to the pages are loading properly and look okay before publishing. And another feature that our engineering team was able to get built in for us is a shareable preview link. So we can actually share a preview link with anyone at our company. They don't have to be logged into Prismic to see it. So if, let's say for whatever reason, my manager wants to read something before it goes live, I can give her that shareable preview link and she can open it on her computer without even having to log into her Prismic account, and she can read it and then she can give me feedback on it.
That's
so
really
I find
good.
it very helpful.
Yeah, you mentioned the Grammarly website you're using. You can use a plugin directly in Chrome and it will check it within Prismic.
Yeah, that's actually a great tip. I need to do that.
Yeah, we use it within the office when we're doing our documentation for the website.
Nice. Yeah, I find it super helpful, Grammarly.
And we have quite a few questions, but before I jump to the questions, so there is something that we chatted about also, that so basically what Prismic helped you in here, and we said it in the beginning, is first get the speed, because you could implement it in Next.js and with Prismic, and you got a better speed, and that's very important for SEO. Your goal was SEO, and it helped with that. And also the content creation, you could streamline it and you could have control over it. So you don't need anyone. Once you have that kind of tool already configured, then you can go on your own and publish things, right? And you mentioned that you use slices, right? Why?
Yes.
Do you think that slices help you in any way in the SEO mission, or what's your take about it?
I do. Well, first of all, I think that any components that we can add to a page just helps the overall user experience, which in turn, tells Google that this is a helpful page and helps with the page rankings. Some of the slices that we use, like the table of contents, that's really a best practice that a lot of the sites that we're competing with are using, and their pages are ranking. So we have found that very helpful. It also helps with drive revenue as well, depending, again, of course, on the article. One of my favorite slices that I use is a shopping module. So the shopping module.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so let me see if I understand it correctly. You're saying already having more engagement on the page, it's going to help with the SEO. That's the first thing, and then you said also you want also to engage people into the buying experience, and that's why you use some kind of already you use table content and a few other slices, so that you put the components that are helping with the SEO to improve the SEO, but there are things that are there to help with engagement, like you said, the shopping cart component, right? That correspond to a slice. Yes, so it helps more, keeping people in the page. That's important, because once people are into the page, you need to keep them around and keep them engaged, right? And then to have them to, if it's relevant for them to go and buy the product that correspond, right?
showcase the mattress quiz on our blog. So we, in almost every article,
Nice. Yeah.
put that ad on the right rail.
So basically, not only create pages, but enrich them with some kind of engagement and other things into the page, and that's how you use slices in this kind of situation.
Exactly.
Cool. I really love it. So there's someone that asked the question: are you planning to move the rest of your website to Next and to Prismic, or do you know anything about that?
That's actually a great question. So I do know a little bit about it. So another issue that we had was some of our site pages. They were very difficult to update on our own. We would have to ask an engineer to go in and make copy changes for us. So there are certain pages that we actually are moving into Prismic, such as our product warranties. So our product warranties are all currently it's being worked on, moving to Prismic. We're also building a careers page and an about us page on Prismic, and that's just going to make it much easier for anyone who wants to go in there and make an update to the copy to do it versus having to contact an engineer, get it into their pipeline when they have other, bigger priorities to work on. So we are moving a lot of site pages into Prismic.
Nice. Well, thank you for that. I mean, this shows that you trust us, and that means a lot. I'm really thank you very much for talking about it now, not only to us but also to the whole community. That means a lot for us. So here's a tricky question. Okay, what are the things? Imagine you would have you have a wish list or something like you would ask us to do. What would be the number one thing that you would like us to improve or to work on?
That's a good question. I mean, you probably already have this and we're just not taking advantage of it, but we really want to expand into video. And so I'd love to utilize any video page templates that you might have, any quiz or slideshow photo gallery page templates. That's something that on our end, we've really been focused on, single article pages, but doing things that are even a little bit more interactive. So I'm super excited for the team that I have at Saatva to think about these things that we want to do to iterate and improve our blog even more.
So you want more integration with video platforms, maybe?
That definitely would be great. It's something again that we're thinking about on our end, and we're mulling over our video strategy and figuring out how we're going to go about creating more videos. But any way we can get that onto the blog easily, it's going to be a big benefit for us.
This is good. So anything that I didn't ask you that we didn't cover here, because here honestly of course, well, thank you for also talking about Prismic and how it was useful, but the whole story about the SEO strategy and how you go about the different parts and how you organize your process is extremely interesting, right? We are at Prismic ourselves, we're building an SEO strategy, and we learned a few things from you. So thanks you for that. Are there any other things that we didn't cover in here, I didn't ask you about, and you want to cover about this SEO strategy and process?
So I think one thing I would want to mention too is that we're not just creating new content and then, letting it float away. We are continually going back and updating existing content to make improvements on it. And that's a big part of our SEO strategy. And that's something that we've actually engaged with an outside SEO agency to help get our arms around, because we do have over 600 pieces of content on our site. So what they're doing is really determining what are our highest value pieces of content and how can we make them perform even better than they already are. And so in addition to creating new content, we're also proactively going back and updating some of the content that we created when I first started in 2018 and 2019. So that's also a big part of our SEO strategy. And every year we update our articles on Black Friday and Memorial Day and all the different holidays to make sure that they're current and relevant. We add new products to it. We take away products that might not exist anymore. So staying up to date and really keeping track of what you've already published and going back and updating that as necessary.
Thank you very much for the advice. Let me so basically you work with freelancers, okay, and then you report to your CMO, right?
Yeah, so we have our CMO and we have a VP of content and communication. So they
Okay.
both oversee things.
And then you work also with developers for that, and then you
Yes.
work with a content team, your assistant that helps with the content creation, right?
Yes.
Can we bring that kind of screen of the process, the complete process? Yes, thank you very much, because someone asked actually for it. It was very useful. A lot of people also in the chat said that it was very useful.
Oh, good.
It helps bring perspective of the whole streamlined process of working with SEO. Thank you very much, Christina, for telling us about this.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you letting me join your show this month.
Thank you very much.
Hey.
Bye.
And sorry for the audio hiccups and the image ones, where we're learning from this process, and each time we know about new problems. Anyways, so that's really a good story. This is I love that. And not only the Prismic part, we hear a lot of good feedback about Prismic, but I like that we see a concrete thing of how people are using it, and then we can inspire from it. As I said, Prismic itself, we can inspire from this process, how they organize, the freelancer part, the tools, all these kind of things. So I think we'll try to bring more and more of these kind of situations and people that can tell us how did they succeed their stuff, and how did they go about implementing it, right?
Yeah, especially of SEO, because it's such an interesting topic. Because it's okay building your website, but something everyone's interested in is trying to get people to your website. There's no point having a super fast app if you've got nothing that people want to read.
Yeah, it's about content, and how can you make a content strategy, as in produce a lot of pieces of content, where they come from, how do you think about them. All of these are interesting points. So what do we have next?
Okay, so we've got our product updates, so a few new releases for everyone to sink their teeth into. All the stuff that affects you as Prismic users, as devs. So the first one, we've got Slice Machine 0.1. What does that mean? What does 0.1 mean? It means we've moved it into stable. It was in beta for around 2 months. We had some really interesting new features that we were trying out: custom types, slice variations, content relationship links. And with this update, we're saying that these things are ready to go. We've done a lot of testing with them. We've done some things on top of that. We've included Svelte support. So the framework that everyone's starting to get into now, we're starting to make it easily available for you to work with that in Slice Machine and other technologies. We've done some work within the CLI. Mark, as part of the Slice Machine team, done some real good work there, which will allow us to easily integrate other technologies now, so we can start to look at Gatsby and other things. And
we put a lot of focus of packing in the essentials for building Slice Machine libraries and websites, and we release them as 0.1. And the message here, the idea is this is stable. We're going to keep it stable. We'll add more stuff, but this is the start of having a stable Slice Machine library that you can use your own. So basically, this is a green sign that people could start using it in real projects.
Yeah, exactly. And that beta time allowed us to do some bug fixes, some design updates, get the link to media files working. So you all know where the documentation is: prismic.io/docs. Jump into the next Nox documentation, try that out. That's available for you to test now.
Just a little bit reminder. So you feel you work on the documentation with the rest of the team.
That's correct.
And the new way, it's not new anymore, but you work together with the team. You're part of the Slice Machine team, not when they release stuff, but while they're working on stuff. Your role is to understand, to bring your insights from the community, from people that use the docs, and to write the docs in the same time that we're producing stuff, right?
That's correct. Yeah, always trying to get that information out of the developers about what the feature is, how does it work, how to best explain this to people. Bit of a challenge sometimes, developers aren't the most forward people with making documentation to their projects and stuff they're working on. So it's tough work at time, and you need to make sure that you're explaining it in a way that people really understand. And we're trying to get as much feedback from our users all the time about that as possible. We also man the forum, the community forum. It's myself and the rest of the education team are constantly in contact with users there and getting that information to make sure we can help you get to that first success as soon as possible.
Yeah, this is great, and I know what you're talking about. Like developers, like as a depends between different developers. They might not agree, but everyone will say, "Oh, yeah, this is easy. You don't need to explain it, right?" But you talk to another developer, and there is something else that is easy for them, and it's never easy. So we have to document anything. So it depends on the prior experience to people. That's why what's important in documentation is to understand how to explain every single aspect, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Not to have some kind of assumptions, too much assumptions.
Yeah, it's always a trap you can easily fall into.
Yes. So Slice Machine 0.1, but there is a lot that is going in Slice Machine that we're going to announce in the future product meetups. But for now, this is a good news. We can start building websites with Slice libraries and websites with this.
Yeah, team's working
Cool.
hard. We're in a good place. Next thing, a lot of sign up and login improvements. So what does that mean for you? Means you can log in with GitHub now. You can connect your GitHub account directly to your Prismic account. So, a lot of devs already have that ability to log in with GitHub because they're using GitHub. So why not integrate it with Prismic? And we've also reworked the experience with the CLI that you can, when you try to log into the CLI, it'll bring you to the website, get logged in there, and you'll automatically be logged in the CLI. And so it's less finicky. There's more communication between the website and the CLI itself. And so, nice improvements there.
Yeah, that integration, when you need to log in, you used to have to log in through the CLI itself. Now there is a process that is more secure and easier. You can log in from the website.
Yeah.
So this way you can use normal experience, and then you get back to the CLI, something like that.
Yeah, shout out to Amari on all the hard work they did on that one.
Yeah.
I know he was working on that one for a long time, so it's good to see it finally out. The next one, something we've talked about before, it's the /API replication. So some of you might have heard of it, some of you haven't. What that is that we have an API /API endpoint where you get the ref for your Prismic repository, which will allow you to get the version of the content that has just been published, and then with that ref you get all that content. And so where it all started was in America. We had that original API endpoint, and so say you lived in Eastern Russia and you wanted to get your Prismic content, you would have had to go over to America, get the ref first, then once
Take
you
a
get
plane,
the ref,
go there,
take it back in a box. Once you've got that, you can then query to get your actual content. So we wanted to make that a lot faster for people. So first we replicated that in Europe, based in London, I think it was, or at least in England. And we've seen a lot of positive feedback. I've seen definitely positive feedback for some of our users on the forum about that. They were happy about that.
Cool.
The response time, because they were trying to do caching and stuff on the ref. That was causing issues in the application.
Yeah, you cannot too much cache this one. Yeah.
Once we got this and the response times completely dropped, they were totally happy. Like, okay, we can totally get rid of caching.
Yeah.
The announcement this
But that's
month,
our role, right? That's our role, is to, if we can optimize stuff, then why they should make work about it? We can do it in our side, and they get it like out of the box, right? This is much simpler.
Yeah.
So this is what we always strive for, finding these kind of opportunities where we optimize stuff. So whatever you do, you get anyway that speed.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what step towards that.
Exactly, because we're always doing stuff like this in the background. It's maybe hard to see sometimes. We're constantly thinking about the performance of the API and how that affects your websites and how it affects your ability to code things and deliver and make people happy and give them good websites. So we are always constantly thinking about this.
And the more we squeeze out of this performance, and the more you have better SEO, better a lot of other things on interactivity on your website, and you get it without breaking a sweat, right? Because we do it, we deploy it, and then you get it.
Yeah, exactly. And so the one that we're talking about this month, the new thing here, is in Australia. We have another API replication, so that is serving all our customers in the East. So this gentleman I talked about in Eastern Russia, he will now be able to get his /API endpoint replicated from Australia. It's going to know where he is. It's going to deliver the fastest one, and then he's going to get his ref faster, build his website faster.
Now, I guess this needs to be enabled for people, but then the dispatching is automatic. You don't have to tell us where you are. Like if you're deploying in different locations, then we will automatically detect where you're deployed, and we route you into the right endpoint. Like if you're near to Australia, then it will be detected, and then you will be routing you there. but we need to enable this kind of auto routing for you, right? We need to ask us for enabling it for you.
Yep, exactly.
If
Yeah,
I remember
so
right.
if you want that done, jump onto the forum, send us a message to the activation team. We'll get that set up for you. We'll communicate it to the team.
Nice.
We'll just need your repo URL, and so we
Right.
know who to activate it for. We had a quick question about the last slide. Will migrating projects using the old Slice machine to the new version have issues?
Oh, you have pretty good eyes, man.
That's the size of the West. So it really depends how old your Slice machine project is. If you're talking about one like when we started a Slice machine ages ago, I can't say for certain. If you're in slightly newer versions, not an issue. Our team have worked in some migration scripts to update that, and there shouldn't be any issues with updating to the latest version.
What's
of
the
Slice
right
machine.
place to ask these kind of questions?
The right place is to ask us on the forum again.
Where there is a section for this?
There's a Slice machine category.
Okay.
Jump on, and we should have already covered this topic.
Daniela, please ask your question in the community, and not only will be able to answer your question, but for other people
have already asked.
will maybe they will ask these questions, and maybe they will see the answer that we give to you, and it will be useful for everyone. Thank you.
And we will have all the tips and stuff to help you, and we are there to support you every step of the way to get you to that next stage. So luckily the team has thought about stuff like that. Hugo and the guys have thought about that migration process from version to version, and there's always something to help when you're moving up a version.
Okay, what's next?
Next one, open source update. Okay, so
We're gonna do this quickly.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of
badminton.
Yes, I have to go.
Do you really think you're gonna get out of here in less than 10 minutes and make it there? You're being brave. So the open source update is we've got a few development kits that everyone uses. So Prismic /client, formerly Prismic JavaScript. This is the client that is the development kit that's used for querying the Prismic application. All our other kits and things like Prismic Nuxt and Gatsby and all these things, they all use this as the base. This is the base of what you will use to query the master ref, for example, from the /API, and then to get all your Prismic content. This is what that is used for, and also Prismic DOM. So Prismic DOM is once you've got that content, you need to make it look good on your application. You need to turn that Prismic JSON data, or for example, a Prismic rich text field comes in a certain format.
Yeah, for React, for Vue, for
it runs through Prismic DOM, and
Yes.
you can output it as HTML.
Yes.
So it's basically getting the data from Prismic, templating. So the work that the team have done there, and it's really awesome. They've been working on it for a while. We've got some documentation ready. But better API. So what does that mean? Better API in this case is related to the Prismic client. So in the past, you could do stuff like you could query by tags, but you would have to use predicates. But you could query by UID, but we had a helper function for that. You could just simply get by UID, and you didn't have to use the predicates. Now we've included a lot of helper functions just to do stuff like get by tags, get by UID,
by type.
get by type. Whereas before, if it was get by type, you would have to do predicates or document.type and then the type. A lot faster now. And for things like getting more than 100 documents in the REST API, we've got get by all or get all. So you don't have to set up those recursive queries to do 3 or 4 queries to the API to get all your documents. We've set that up that it's now something working within the client that will make that process a lot faster for you as a developer, that you can quickly just use that helper function.
But like if you still have to do some kind of combination of queries, like more sophisticated queries where you need to specify the type and the tags and some other things, then you will fall back to predicates when they are more suitable, right?
Yeah.
But for simple stuff, you don't need predicates, so we have the helpers.
Exactly that, yeah. So the power of predicates still exists when you need to combine all these things, and we've got edge cases where it's more complicated. But just need something simple. The team are working on making all of this stuff as simple as possible for you now, because that's the power of having a DevX team, that they're talking with you and they're using the product themselves, so they know what it's like to be using it every day and what are the little things that might be a bit painful,
Right.
and they're working to make that as smooth as possible all the time.
Right.
Another thing that we got was first class TypeScript support. We had a lot of people asking about TypeScript. It's everywhere. It's more and more prevalent on the web, and so the team have also worked on that. And lastly, the optimized bundles and performance. So smaller file sizes, more performant files. There you go.
Right.
Simple. So all of these features are now in beta, so you can get over and test those out. And we really want to hear your feedback from all of these things. So either on GitHub where the packages exist, or again reaching out to us on the forum. The DevX team is also quite active on the forum there as well. We can answer any questions that you might have. You can tell us what you would like to see more. Is there other helper functions? Is the performance of something maybe not where you think? Or do you really like the performance of what we did? Do you like these new features? We love to hear positive stuff as well. We're human. We like to have a pat on the head as much as anyone. So if you want to test that out, Prismic Client, you go to this link, prismic.club/client beta, and that will bring you to the documentation for that new development kit. I'm sure the team is going to drop that into the chat soon. And then Prismic Helpers, which is the new name for Prismic DOM, prismic.club/helpers beta. So that's all the information for the open source stuff. It's really exciting. I'm really happy to see it. I know the education team has worked with the DevX team to get the documentation ready for that, and we're all happy to see that. I see Samuel's excited about Get All. A few people, TypeScript. It's
Yeah.
cool.
People are happy about the TypeScript support. And so the last thing we want to talk about here is the side of the website on the month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
website of the month is
I see Dragon is trying to. So okay, let me tell a little bit about this. So we do user research, okay, which helps us a lot to understand your needs, to understand them deeply, so that we can respond to that and try to implement stuff for it. So it's very essential for us if we can. The more we can recruit people for user research, the closer we are to your actual needs. So I think this is why Dragana is all around trying to get people to kind of help us with user research. She just sent a link. I guess it's about that. So if you're interested in helping us with this, you can check what Dragana posted.
Yep.
Side of the month.
Yep. Side of the month, Mac Stadium.
Yes, absolutely. And it's in collaboration with Monogram agency who had actually how many websites they did? Like 40, right? 50 websites already with Prismic.
Yeah,
Monogram.
they're a power
Champions.
user.
Yeah, they are, absolutely. And they have a lot of feedback. They give us a lot of feedback. But this website had a very special story. This website was, so what is it about already?
So Mac Stadium is a cloud hosting platform for Mac-based solutions. So they've got customers such as Dropbox, Shopify, some others.
And so they had a website before. It was built on Webflow. And then they faced some kind of and please, I guess the people from Monogram are maybe probably in the chat, and they can correct me if I'm wrong. But what I understood about the challenge, they had two main challenges basically. One of them is that with Webflow they couldn't basically let the content editors change the pages because they were not sure that it will not break the design itself, right? It's hard. Like you start moving things around and maybe things will kind of break in some way or another. That was one of the challenges. So they had to do it for the content team. So the content team wasn't exactly independent on that. And the other thing is that there was some kind of limitation. I don't know exactly about that, but they couldn't publish too many pages. They had to create another account for it. I don't know exactly what the story was.
They had a lot of mini sites.
They had a lot of mini websites.
Types or something like that.
Yeah, limited by number of pages or something like this.
So they
types.
had to have many mini sites just to serve their content.
So anyways, they had these challenges, and then they decided to move to Prismic and they wanted anyway to change their branding, right? It was a rebranding, so that's why they worked with Monogram to do the rebranding, and then they built this new website.
So this is before on Webflow what the website looked like, And then this is the new website on Prismic. So yeah, you can see there the people who've worked with there. You know.
Yeah, that's where you know it from.
But yeah, the really interesting thing about this project and the differences of the way they used to have it set up is that they made this website incredibly flexible. They really worked well with the slices feature in Prismic, something that we all know is super powerful, and they really pushed it to new extremes. So they created variations for all of their slices.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they added themes for each slice.
Yeah, I love that. Like this is a way to use Prismic that I didn't hear about before, and it inspires me into maybe there's something that we have to do about this. So basically, first thing, but we have a feature for that, right? So they had like defined maybe 10 to 20 slices. They said, okay, maybe we need 10 slices with a lot of variation, and then they discovered that maybe they need 20.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a board that we can show you the board that they had, a Figma board or something. So they had these kind of 10 to 20 slices
Mm-hmm.
that they designed, and then they in a huge Figma board, and they had all the possible variations and configurations of these slices, right?
Mm-hmm.
They say, okay, this slice could be this way, and that way, right?
Yeah.
And they had maybe 10 to 14 different configurations of the same slice.
Yeah.
So you can add stuff, remove stuff from it, and so on and so on. So this is something like variations.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
they had themes.
Themes.
So it's like 7 themes or 7 to 10 themes or something like that. Now, themes is not what we talk about at Prismic, a theme of a delivered project, or like WordPress, a theme. In this case, a theme of color schemes,
color
styling.
scheme, yeah, some kind of color scheme. So the same, imagine like I have a slice, okay? It's a section, right? If I put this in theme 1, it would have the color theme like you see on the left side.
Yeah.
But if I put it with a theme 2, it will look like the color theme of the right side.
Exactly, yeah.
And the way they did that, so basically all their pages, they needed only, like 90% of their pages, they needed only one custom type, because this custom type includes like the 20 slices with the variations,
Mm-hmm.
and they could build 90% of their pages with that.
Mm-hmm.
But they did different custom types. Each custom type is representing a theme for them, a color theme. So
Mhm.
basically, if they, and all of them, they have the same slices. But if I use custom type 1, which maybe they named theme 1 or something like this, theme orange, for instance, okay? So the slices will have a different visual, like colors and stuff, than if I use theme orange
Yeah.
as the base custom type.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they are the same slices inside, they behave differently depending on which custom type is instantiated in them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This is
So
really cool.
if you take, for example, you've got a slice with 3 variations. You've got simple image and text, image left, image right, image center. And then you've got the 7 themes. So you've got their 21 different versions of the same slice. Like, that's hugely powerful.
Yes. You know, you can give content writers. So content writers now are independent. They can create their own pages, but in the same time, they have a little bit of control. They can change colors,
Mm-hmm.
but in a controlled way. It's not like I'm choosing the colors. No,
Exactly.
I want a different, theme,
Mhm.
and that's controlled. So everything is coherent,
Mhm.
but they have some choices, right?
Yeah,
They have
exactly.
choices in the variations and to the themes, but still it's a controlled design that has been properly done by designers.
Yeah, it's massive collaboration between multiple teams and
Yeah.
putting the power in the hands of the content writers.
You know, all the power of everything that's been done is in the hands of content writers without bringing like a big margin of mistakes, right?
Yeah. So what the team from Max Stadium said is at the start they were a bit confused about the development process and okay, it's going to take a bit longer to do this, and then once they got everything in hand, it took them a week to build the website with all the content.
Yeah,
Because they were basically handed a website builder.
yes, exactly. So what they said, I heard this, and we need to bring them in because they can talk about it maybe in a future product meetup. But they said something like, we were positively surprised of how the content writers were building the pages themselves
Mm-hmm.
while we were like building the they said we didn't ship any page, we didn't ship pages, we shipped these components, these slices, and we were like doing the slices, but we were seeing more and more pages being published by the content team. So they had this kind of ideal collaboration where they were not responsible for the pages. They build the branding, they build the sections, they build all this kind of design system, and then the content writers starting building the pages in the same time. That's really great. So they had, as you said, their own custom page builder, right?
Yeah, and this is what we love to see at Prismic. We love to see anything that enables collaboration, because that's the goal at the end of the day, and that's what we're working towards here. We're working towards a lot of different features, a lot of different improvements into what we're doing to make collaboration between your different teams as smooth a process as possible, and trying to put all the power in the hands, not all the hands in the hands, all the hands in the power, all the power in the hands of the content writers, exactly.
Like in the case of Christina as well, right? This is what she wanted. She wanted that liberty to be able to produce more content on her own.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, similar story. Anyway, we might be able to bring them in. They are. I really like the team at Monogram.
Yeah, they're doing awesome stuff. And if you want to see what they did, it's macstadium.com.
Right. And I guess probably, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Myself, I want to run. So I don't know if we have time for the QA. And then we answered quite a few. So I don't know. I'm trying to see if we have any questions that we didn't answer. I think we're good, and I think because of the little problem of the audio, we lost some time.
Yeah.
So maybe it's okay to finish in here. Well, thank you everyone for being here. I will be looking forward to the next meetup. Remember, the meetup is the last Wednesday of every month. So the last Wednesday of next month will be the Prismic Meetup.
Yeah.
I will be happy to be here. It's a great event. I love it. I love interacting with people, with users, with the chat.
Yeah.
And I hope to see you all there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be sending you an email.
And hopefully, like Said has suggested and you suggested, we can get the Monogram team on to talk about
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, and they will show their work. It's really impressive.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, Phil, for being here with me.
No problem.
You replace. I mean, next time I will think twice. Maybe you're better here than Renaud. I don't know.
I don't know.
I will ask the team. They are.
Soon as stuff and more technical.
The production. Do you prefer Phil or Renaud? What do you prefer?
Like on a deep
Phil and
level.
Renaud. They prefer you and Renaud, so I have to go away. Okay. Seems so. Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, I will go play my badminton smash it. Samuel, do you know how to play badminton? Maybe we can invite you in here.
Prismic badminton tournament.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks.